Hadley Heath Manning, the Independent Women's Forum Policy Director. Hadley, let me start with you. This was a really remarkable win a couple of months ago when Erdogan sort of seemed to be digging his heels in. I don't think a lot of people expected this to happen this quickly.
You know, it's a win for President Trump, but it's also a win for what is right and what is good. And we're happy to see Pastor Brunson coming back to the United States. On the other hand, it's a travesty that this happened in the first place. You know, you think about this as 2 years of this American man's life that he'll never get back. And unfortunately, this is all too common in Turkey for people to be jailed even under false and ridiculous charges like those faced by Pastor Brunson. So it's a sad reminder that not everywhere in the world do people have the same political, religious, and civic freedoms that we have as Americans.
Yeah, although, Hadley, we do expect it from our NATO allies, and in this particular case, from Turkey, which is increasingly becoming a more integrated part with the West.
Well, we should hope for better from Turkey, certainly. But unfortunately, this is a recent pattern of abuse against not just people like Pastor Brunson, but other journalists, anyone really who dissents against the state. And Turkey is at risk of being treated similarly. Even Turkish people can be prosecuted for up to 35 years for charges like those that Pastor Brunson faced. And that's simply not right. We should expect better, especially from Turkey.
Ali, walk us through how this all evolved. I mean, from the arrest and imprisonment of Pastor Brunson to the more recent dramatic, really a showdown, if you will, between President Trump and Erdogan, where sanctions were applied. We saw Turkey's markets in turmoil, and people were really worried that this could have blossomed into something a lot worse.
I'm glad that Pastor Brunson now is coming home. So it started with the coup attempt. Fethullah Gülen organized the coup attempt against Turkish people. Therefore, there were lots of arrests in Turkey. And unfortunately, there was an allegation for Pastor Brunson too. So now he's out, he's coming back to the United States. But Turkey had a big national security issue from the neighbors, from internal attacks. So that's why Turkey is
What kind of a threat, though, with Pastor Brunson? I remember the coup, and it was organized, the different branches of the military, higher-ups in the government. Of course, since then, there's been a massive purge. Thousands of people have been arrested. Thousands of people have been removed from their jobs. Why was he considered to be such a threat? An American pastor in Turkey, what could he have why was he such a threat to the Erdogan administration? So
at the beginning, 3 witnesses said that Pastor Brunson is linked to FETÖ and PKK, which is a terrorist organization also recognized by the United States. So there were some allegations against him. But today at the court, these 3 witnesses changed their statement and supported Pastor Brunson that he wasn't guilty. So there was a change that we saw this morning. So
why was Turkey so resistant, though, to American pleas to release this pastor? Again, these 3 witnesses changed their mind just a couple of years later. It seemed like a huge gamble, a big gambit on their part to ruin relationships, or at least put a relationship in doubt that was just being fostered. It was a terrible gamble in my mind.
It was. Unfortunately, Turkey, as I said, had a big national security risk and still is. And it's up to the justice system that the Turkish government said,
Well, how did an American pastor pose a threat to the Erdogan government?
I don't know. I mean, this shouldn't happen. But as I said, the justice system make a decision today and gave the good news.
Real quick, let me ask you, think any deals, what will come of this now? I mean, this is a big move for Turkey. You think we'll remove some sanctions because of this and try to start to mend the relationship?
I think there will be some good news from the U.S. side as well. I mean, at the end, reducing the tension between U.S. and Turkey, both 2 NATO allies, needs to get close to work together.
Right.
So I think we'll see some good news from the U.S. side and help Turkish economy as well. And open dialogue will help to get 2 NATO allies closer.
Hadley, what do you see happening after this? President Trump saying that no deal was made, but certainly Erdogan will say, hey, listen, help us out. We did the right thing, no matter how belated it was. And to Ali's point, we do want to foster a good relationship in that region, which is still a boiling point.
We do, but it's going to be difficult. You know, Pastor Brunson's release isn't the only issue at stake here when it comes to relations between the U.S. and Turkey. We support the Kurdish militia. This is something that Turkey generally views as a threat. So there's other tensions in our relationship that we have to work out. But certainly it's the right thing for Pastor Brunson to come home. But as you mentioned, Charles, far overdue. So tough to give Turkey credit here.
All right. Thank you both very much.